Good evening, folks, and welcome. I've turned the soldering iron on here. Yes, I have. We're on. Anyway, good evening, and a very, very warm welcome. And what have we got on the bench today? Well, we've got scraps milling around the workshop. I wouldn't even bother. They've not dropped now. I've not eaten anything. Look at that. I'm sweating like a fucking... God, man, it's hot. Alright. Oh. Yeah. The radio at the back there, the Bush VHF 41, I've put on hold for now because I'm waiting for some bits. So that's on hold for now. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at this. This record player also belongs to Lawrence and he's coming tomorrow, so, well, it's now today. And really I wanted to have this back. And that's one of the screws that fell out all the front on. And I thought that stylus had been clipped down, it clearly hadn't. Never mind, anyway. Basically this is another one that went to our friend Stephen Sylvester. This is another one that he's supposed to have done. Can't see my other hand, never mind. Anyway, basically folks, what I'm going to do on here, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to strip this completely because it doesn't really need it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the resistor in. So what I can do, I can put the lid down because yeah, I can put the lid down. I will go through the deck. I won't go through the deck with you because you've seen me do it before. But what we'll do, we'll have a look. We'll have a look at the rectifier, and we'll also have a look at what's been done in here, and we'll have a look at the HT, and that should just about cover it. I'm not going to switch it on because I don't need to. I know what it does. The HT is way above what it should be. The HT on this, will that screwdriver fit? Yes, it does. Because it's a bit wide, that screwdriver, doesn't fit all screws. And basically, oh, I've got an itch. There we go. Right. Basically, this has been serviced by our Mr. Stephen Sylvester. And I think it uses a Phillips for that one in the middle. I'm not certain, but no, it's a flathead. There's me thinking it was a Phillips. Don't know why I thought it was a Phillips. Unless I've come across one before today and somebody put a bloody Phillips in it. Anyway. Right, so I'll put that there. Shit. Right. Now, I was going to just prise it off, but no, tap it down, there we go. Right, there's not really a lot in this for me to do. Now, we'll see what's been done and what hasn't. Now, as I say, I don't have to measure the HT because I already know what it is. And who the fuck's had that out? The nuts like they've been gnarled. Like I've been fucking, they look like I've been attacked by a fucking lion or something. Somebody, somewhere. Where's my nut driver? There we go. So what we'll do, we'll pull not even a washer behind that one. And I wouldn't mind, you know, folks, these are a good player. You know, when they're done properly, these are a fantastic little player, they're not bad. That capacitor there has been replaced. That would normally have a brown Kunz one, but somebody's put that one in. So that's been replaced. I believe the capacitors have been done. I might have to take the input wire off, I'm not sure yet. Probably. Because... and that's been... the end of that thread's been gnarled. Because that should come off a lot easier than what it did. As it was coming off, it was tightening. There's no washer behind that either. So the washers have got lost somewhere. But that's no great problem. I mean, we only want to work on, the automatic mechanism, the washers on that one. I mean, the automatic mechanism on this works fine. He's happy with that. But I'm not happy with the fact that he paid the guy to service it and he hasn't gone over it. Because he hasn't cleaned the idler or anything. The idler's dead shiny. And it shouldn't be shiny. If he's done it, it shouldn't be shiny. So, there we go. But at least on this one I don't have to remove the amp from the case. I should be able to just slide the case back in a minute, pull the amp out and work on it. Because all we're doing with the amp, we're just checking and make sure that it's okay. And we're going to look at the HT. But I already know what the HT is on this amp. I know what it is because, oh, hang on, let's pull that off there. Where's my cup of coffee gone? There it is. I thought I made one. There we go. There you are. Now, what I'm going to do what I do on all these. Just to make it easier for myself, what I'm going to do, I'm going to desolder. I think do I need to? Might be able to do it without it. Yeah, I'm going to desolder the input. I'm going to desolder the input wires. The reason for that is it makes it easier. Because it's just easier to desolder the fucking things. Where's my pliers so I can pull the fucking wires out? These magnets are brilliant, but the problem is they get everywhere. Stick to everything. Well, they stick to everything that can fucking magnet can stick to. There we go. Let's get the come out, you fucker. Come out. So this can be a pain in the ass to get out. There we go, gotcha. I'll straighten all that up and clean all that up before it goes back in. Now let's get the signal wire off. There we go, that's the input disconnected. It makes it easier to work with the input disconnected because you pull the amp out. Now I'll slide that back as far as I get it, which is as far back that is, as far as I can go. Now let's pull withdraw the amplifier. Now, well, let's have a look and see what's being done. Right. Uh, 47 UF at 250 volts, that's not right. 47 UF at 250 volts, that's not right. So what we'll do, we'll get the manual and we'll see what they're supposed to be. I know it's not them. So we'll have a look. Here we go. Red Bush record player, SRP31. Now, what this looks like is these are all the same fucking value that are in here. All 47 UF. So what's happened is, what he's done here is he's just put fucking capacitors in that he's got on hand. He hasn't put the correct values in, so let's see what we've got and see if I can put the correct values in. So we need to look at the capacitor C1, C2, right. C15 and C16 is 50 microfarads at 275 volts. So yeah, that's probably them two. We'll have a look on the circuit and see. We've got all the information here before us, folks, and we can get the job done. Right, metal rectifier, C15, C15 and C16, yeah, them two there are okay. Now let's have a look at, let's go to the actual view and see. Right, C10 is this fucker here, which is a 47 UF, but I know it shouldn't be. C10, that fucker there, and C10, and let's have a look at the other one, which is this fucker here. Oh, pardon me folks, that's another one for President Trump. I hope he enjoys my farting. And that's there. C4. So let's see what C10 and C4 should actually be. Let's go. Oh yeah, I can look at it on the. I could look at it on the schematic, but it's easier to look at the parts list. C4 is a 50 microfarad. And it's 12 volts, so that's okay. And C10, well, that's 50 as well, so that can stay, that's okay. So they're all 50 microfarad electrolytics. Yeah. Right, so that's okay. I'll just go over it and just check, make sure that we're happy. Right, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take that's the red wire there, so I'm going to take the red wire off, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect Yeah, look at the way they've been done. They've just been lashed up and put on there. Still, never mind. I'll just check them. Yeah, they appear to be okay. I mean, I'd like to have seen a bit of sleeving or something on there, but not going to hit anything. And likewise, that's not going to hit anything. That's okay. I'd have used smaller capacitors. You know, I wouldn't have put a 47 mic in there. I wouldn't have put a 250 volt in there when it only needs a 12 volt. You know, or you know, let's just check them, because they're big and bulbous and not fucking. If I've got the values in, I'll replace the fuckers. Right. C4 12 volts and C10 12 volts. So we'll find something neater to put in there, and we also want to put in we've got a rectifier in here which is good enough for the job. We just need to solder a resistor in there. I got one out to put in. Where did I put it? There we are. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a 140 ohm resistor in, and I mean, there's two ways you can do this. You can either put it in at the transformer here, or you can put it in at the diode here. There's not really any right or wrong way of doing this. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in at the transformer end, because then I don't have to disturb any of this. And what we'll do that, and then we'll fire it up. Well, oops. Let's get me sucker. Try and suck some fucking solder out of the way. So we can get this resistor on. Might not be able to have to. I just want to get this wire off, really. Right. Let's see if we. I'm going to have to lop it, really. Not going to be able to get that off, but it's no problem. So what we'll do, oops, just clip that there. There we go. And just, there we go. That's that. Now, get my little small pliers that I use. See, there's no really, you can do this either way you want. You can either put it on the diode, or you can put it on the transformer. Doesn't matter really, as long as it's in there. I mean, clip that down a bit. Don't need that lead that long. There we go. Right. Apparently Lawrence is coming tomorrow, so it'd be nice to have something repaired for him. So I was hoping to have his radio finished, but we're waiting on bits for that. So basically. This has to be done, so yeah, we'll find, let's give that a bit more solder. There we go. What we'll do, we'll turn that. No, we won't. We'll put it like that. Ow! Burnt my finger. What I'll do next is I will put a little, just bring that back out again, put a little loop in that, put a little loop in that, so I do mine this way and I don't have any problem, but you have to put the resistor in. And I've seen a few videos of people doing this. I won't name him, should do really, but I'm not going to. He didn't put the resistors in, and in my opinion you should. If the circuit says a certain voltage, then that's what it should really be, or as near to it as you can get it. You don't take a voltage reading of 268 or 269 volts and say yes, that's good enough, but it should be 220, because it bloody ain't good enough. The circuit says something, then it should be pretty much that. Right. So we'll tuck that down there out of the way. We're done there now. And that, there you go. It's a nice neat job. Let's get rid of these fucking big bulbous capacitors. What make are they anyway? Probably fucking no-name shitters. No brand on them. Right. Well, that's so 47 UF. Get two nice fucking small ones. They're a bit fucking big and fucking bulbous. Let's get two fucking small, two nice ones. There we go. 47 UFs. And the 12 volts, so you don't really need a fucking 250 volt, a 250 volt capacitor in there. Now let's have a look. 47 volts at 63 volts. Oh, so let's have a look at what these brown ones are. 35 volts at 37, at 47, and they're nice and small as well. 50 volts at 47. Try to find a 30, 35. Well, 35. There we go. They're the correct value, and it won't do any harm changing them. So we'll start with this one. I bet these are just tacked on. Yep. Oh no, he J-hooked them. He J-hooked them, so we'll put them in the tray. Because right, so so it's there and there. There we go. Eee. Let's take some of this fucking solder off, it looks horrible. Fucking loads of fucking solder. What did they put that much on for? That's if it was him who replaced these capacitors. Which, get the feeling, looking at the work, it was. But I just want to get some of this fucking solder off. The reason why is it's unsightly. And it doesn't need that fucking much on it. I mean, there we go. That's it. Much cleaner. Now, much cleaner. See, I can put that on there now, and that is a lot nicer. You don't need bloody great big capacity. I mean, the ones that were in there were much bigger than what I put in, and they were old ones. You don't need bloody great big stonking capacitors like that in them, you know. The idea is to keep the circuit clean. I mean, I'm going to do this in a two-part video. It's going to be me doing the amp, and then I'm going to do another video showing it working. I'm not doing a video covering the deck. The reason for that is because you've seen me do that before, and there's no need for me to repeat myself and go over it again with you. So if you want to see the deck being done, check out my other video on this player, and you can look at that and see the deck being done. So you can see where I just snipped out the original. There's nothing wrong with that, I do that myself, but this one's proven to be a bit of a... There we are, come on, come round you cunt. Oops. Proven to be a bit of a bummer, this one. There we go. Right. Yeah. There we go, just put a bend in it there, that's it. Straighten that, push that down. There we go. Sorted. Now let's get this one out. Great big horrible nasty, look at that, weren't even in there that well, that was it. Anyway, let's get this one off. But, right, chuck that in there because they'll get reused in something that really needs something of that voltage. I won't throw them. Well, I'll test them in a minute. Actually, let me just put this new capacitor and then we'll test them. But I imagine they'll be pretty much okay because, oh, hang on, wrong pliers, because they're not old. So we'll get the new one in. I don't need to do a lot of cleanup on there, there's just about the right amount of solder. Oops, there we go. Yeah, lovely. Mark shit. Oops. capacitor's disappeared. There we go. Let's turn that round. In fact, you know, something could probably even take. No, we can't. Can't spare any wire, really, because you don't get a lot on these modern components. You don't get as much as you'd like. Tell you what, though. There we go. That's it. Now, let's get the power lead out. Oh, it's already out. Right, let's get the meter. Let's put the capacitors up there. Let's turn the power switch off. Oh, it's already on. There we go. Right, the electrostatic speaker in this is dead, like all of them usually is. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take the probes off, because we've got all the proper gear in this workshop, folks. Got everything you need in here. I mean, all the stuff you need to get one of these old things going, it's all here. I mean, this is not Mr. Carlson's lab. I don't need 10,000 oscilloscopes. You know, I don't need to have a scope set up for each job, because I know how to set my oscilloscope up. So, there we go. Anyway, so what we'll do now, we want to clip onto the output, which is the red wire, which is this one here, coming from the rectifier to this, coming from the rectifier. Make sure that they're okay. Yes, we're okay with those. Let's just clip the red wire onto that, so that we can look at the HT. Make sure there's nothing behind the output transformer. No, we're okay. Right, just mash the plug into the wall and hit the button. Power lights on. Right, we're at 322 so far, but I'm hoping $245, or we're coming down $244. $242, $243. Well, that's not too bad, because it was fucking 260 earlier. It was nearly 270. It was 268, and 242 is not bad. I'd like it a bit lower than that, actually. I would like it, to be perfectly honest with you. To be perfectly honest with you, I'd like to see that a bit lower. Right, let's get another resistor, because in all honesty, I'd like to see that a bit lower. Yeah, let's just tack on if I parallel it'll half it. If I parallel them, let's just tack this on as an experiment. If I parallel them it'll half it. If I put them in series. Wrong one. Yeah. Put them in series. We'll just see what we get. It should. There we go. Let's pop that there for a minute. That'll solidify. There we go. Now, solder this one to here. There we go. Now let's clip the end off that so I don't accidentally touch it and give myself 200 odd volts DC. Don't want that, do we? Now we're okay there. Now let's see what we get. We want it a bit lower than what that is. 240 is still too much. Right, 309, it's coming down. I mean, it will start off high, but as it conducts, it'll drop. Oh, well coming down. 28, 27, 226, 225.9. That's where I usually like to see them, folks, because I normally put a 200 ohm resistor in. It depends though, it depends on the diode as well, on the voltage drop of the diode. Depends on the rectifier that's been used on the voltage drop. Sometimes you can get away with a 140 resistor. I did in mine, I got away with it, and it's 229 in mine, but I used a 1N4007 diode. But we're on anyway. I'll just do the buzz test. I can't get my finger in there. Use the probe. Let's turn the volume up. Is that up or down? I don't fucking know. Down. That's up. Then we've got the controls. That's your treble. That's your bass. Yep. So we're at 225. We're 5 volts over what it says in the manual. And as far as I'm concerned, folks, that's acceptable. But let me just turn it off, and I'll point a couple of things out. You can see here where these components have been sweating, where they've got too hot, you know, and these resistors, especially these disc capacitors here, these 0.1 discs, you can see where they've been sweating, where they've been getting too hot. But well, they're not. You can touch those. That's been on for a few minutes, so that's good enough. Right, so what I'll do now, I'll now find somewhere nice and neat to tuck those out of the way. I'll take that off, because I'll do a proper job now. We're happy with that. So what I'll do, I'll clip that. As I say, this is just really to This is really just to demonstrate you know, how I think it should be done. I mean everybody else has their own ideas. Of course they do. I mean, but no, we're happy with that. So what I'll do, I'll make that joint more permanent. There we go. And this other joint here, oh, I want that set. Let's just re-solidify that. There we go. Just give that a minute to set. And see where we end up. There we have, just seen it develop a crust. So what I want to do now, I want to bend that leg back out of the way, because I want these to sit on top of each other if I can. There we go. There you are. Let's turn it round a bit. Shift the fucking wire out of the way. There we go. That's that. Put that round that way. There we go. Make sure that things are actually neat. Last thing we want is for it to hit the chassis. Don't want that. So basically, there we go. And that's that. We're okay there. Now, put this one on more, make this a more permanent connection. So what we'll do, put one of our little J-hooks in. And solder the connection. Right. And that can be moved out the way of that resistor there, because I don't like the thought that that's protruding up and touching that. Lift that resistor up a bit, otherwise we're going to be touching that wire. We don't want to be. There we go. That's it. Now we're out of the way of that wire now, we're okay. Now, I wish I could lie these down a bit better. Can I turn that way? And turn, just put that way. Just get them in a bit of a nicer orientation than what they're actually in. I mean, let's have a look. I'm not happy with the way that they're put in. I mean, just see if I can neaten things up a bit. Right. Now what I want to do is try and neaten these up a bit. Ouch. Right. Like that. Put them together so they're neat. There we go. Bend them over the top there. Right, clip a bit of this wire off because I don't need all that. There we go. Put some hooks in it. Right. Let's take some of this solder off because there's way too much on there and I want to add a bit, so oh, a little bit of a blockage there now. Oh, shit. Ah. Clear. There we go. Clear the sucker. And get this. There we go. See, that's all nice and neat now. Now what I'll do, I will now put the capacitors back in. I mean, it doesn't take much, but a little bit of extra time, an extra couple of seconds on your repair to put your components in neat. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're taking somebody's fucking money, then you should at least give them a neat job and a good, safe, correct one as well. So there's a lesson for you, Mr. Sylvester, on putting capacitors in. Look, isn't that neater? I'll zoom in on this in a minute and show you how neat this circuit looks now I've put these capacitors back in and done a nice neat job. Yes, okay, this won't affect the way the record player works, but you know, we're just talking about neatness here. Just talking about being tidy, you know, circuit wise. That's all we're discussing. That's all it is about this, is lift that resistor up so it doesn't touch any wires under there. Now what I can do, I can bring this wire back. Might not be long enough, which it isn't, so what we'll do, we'll take that wire out and we'll put a new wire in that will actually reach. So basically, there we go. Do 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 do. Right, so just snip that. There's enough. I don't have to fight with that. There's enough to get the wire through there. No problem whatsoever. So I can snip that. There we go. Get a new piece of wire. Look in my drawer. What have we got? Yeah. What we'll do here, we will connect that to there. There we go. I feel another cup of coffee coming on. I'll make myself a coffee in a minute. But I mean, this is just generally this is just generally a checkup, really. It's just to put the fella's mind at risk, at ease. Just to put the guy's mind at ease that, you know, that the record player is okay and it's safe for him to operate, because he did have his doubts. So generally, just go that off, twist that round, and my chassis is disappearing and away from me there. Come here, you fucker. You be hiding. And what I can do now, I can put a J hook in there, hook that there, nice and neat, and there we go. Just let that harden and lift there up. I can't get that up, there we go. Lift that up. There we go, snip that off. Tuck that under, there we go. What I'll do now, I'll do zoom in if I can, and show you how neat that is now. If I can find the bloody remote for the camera, there it is. Let's do zoom in, let's give you a close up and show you what I've done. Although you've got an idea what I've done, you've been watching me. Let's go over it, let's come in. Right, what I've done, we get something to point with. I did have a sticker upper. There it is. Right. I've neatened up these two capacitors here. And I've added these two resistors here, surge limiters, to actually drop the HT to where it needs to be. We know what that is, we've seen that, we've looked at it, we know it's right. Now, oh, too far. Why am I getting a blue spot on my camera? I don't know. Something not right there. Now we go to, now there's the other capacitor there that I replaced, which is a 47 mic. Replaced that. The reason why I replaced that is because the one that was put in there was bulbous and massive and way too big, and it looked untidy. There we go. Right, and the last one I did was this one here. Replaced that with a 47 mic. Just basically because it was, you know, it was just too big and I just didn't like the look, so I'm just checking the R47s are not point. Well, we know the 47 they are. Just like to double check. We've already had the amp on and it works, so there we go. Now let's test these two capacitors I pulled out. I'm expecting these actually to test pretty much on the money, because they're not all capacitors, but they are no brand. I mean, the ones I put in, I don't know who made those either, but 44. Well, it's not bad. It's a bit under, but it's not bad. 44.30, 44.30. The ESR's good. And let's check this one. Now, you expect them to be identical, but they never are. But that's 46.11. That's near it on. That's not bad. That's near enough on the money. Anyway, they'll go back. They'll be given to him because they're his. So, and should he decide that he doesn't want them, then they'll go in my stash, because there's nothing wrong with them. But they're just too big. And as you can see, the circuit looks a lot tidier. We've added these two 140 ohm resistors. It makes a total of what, 180 ohms, which is what we were looking for. Because I'd like to put around about a 200 in, so we're alright with that. And there's the two resistors. Sorry, there's the two capacitors. I've put that piece of wire in there. Before we button everything up, I'll just zoom out, and we'll do an EHT then. Going back to my days when I was doing tellies. What we'll do an HT check, and just make sure that everything is right. And we'll connect onto here like we did before. Whoops. Let's put my glasses on. Connect onto here like we did before. And there we go. That's where the HT comes in. Meter on. 363, yeah, we're yep. $226, it'll drop to 225, yeah. 224.8, 225 call it. Yeah, right. So that's it. That's, let me zoom out. Where's the remote? You know, I should tie it around my fucking neck, I really should. Whoever put the fucking remote for the camcorder? There it is. Should tie it around my fucking neck. Right, so now that's nice and tight. That's circuit's lovely and tidy now. Them resistors are not getting overheated. They're staying nice and cool. You can touch them after it's been on for a bit. Just leaves me to, yes, I've unplugged it. Put the amp back into the chassis. Get that earth out of the way for a minute. Get these wires up here out of the way. Now, all I do now is, there we go. Get that earth out of the way, there we go. Now, we don't want to lose that inside there, so we need that. Right, so why are we not, just shift that wire there for a minute, why are we not settling down? That's gone in there as it should. That's gone in there as it should. That's it. Yeah, it's not a case of, we'll make sure we're not got nothing touching the bottom. Don't think we have, but we'll just have a quick look. No, we're okay. Yeah, we're fine. Right. So basically, because that adjusts up and lifts about, which is what you want. Right. So what we'll do, I'll solder the input back on. You've seen me do that before. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end it here. This is part 1. You'll see part 2 when I've serviced the deck. I'm not going to service the deck and let you see that. You've seen me do that. You can watch one of my other videos. I'm only going to just clean the idler, just give everything a bit of lubrication, and that's all it is really. I'm not doing a strip down. I don't strip these old Garrards. They don't need it unless they're really gummed up, and this one's working lovely, so it's just an idler job and a bit of lubrication here and there. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching, and more to come later.